So super raw video for this. I'm just gonna kind of say it off the top of my dome, if you will. But in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to track your sodium, why you should care about tracking your sodium, and basically, kind of all of the negatives and benefits of sodium in general, right? So, I would say the biggest reason why you want to track your sodium is because electrolyte balance is really, really important. So, in the kind of fitness space now, if you will, there's a little bit of a new craze on electrolytes. You know, everybody's speaking about electrolytes, how crucial they are, how important they are. But what nobody talks about is the ratio of electrolytes is really, truly the most important thing if you want to get the outcome of, taking electrolytes essentially. Wrong balance of electrolytes could be a negative thing, could lead to bad stuff. Good balance of electrolytes could lead to very positive things, right? So, when it pertains to sodium, you want to try to balance it out with at least double the amount of potassium, if not triple. And to be honest with you, you can really scale that even higher, to be totally honest with you. Um, so essentially, if you have, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, you want 3,000 milligrams of potassium for that. So this video is not really going to be about how to get in potassium because I wouldn't say it's necessarily a challenge. It's just something that you have to be a little bit more mindful of. But this video is going to be more so about how to track your sodium properly, and then kind of go about getting the right ratio of potassium in there. So obviously, you make your food, you use salt, right? Um, and that is not really a good way to track your sodium because you just sprinkle the salt on. You don't know how much salt you're using. You don't know how many milligrams of sodium that's going to be, right? So, what is the better way to do that? So, what you need to buy is something known as a micro scale. I'm going to go grab it right now. So, this is a micro scale, okay? Small little scale. And basically, you're going to use that to track your sodium. So, I don't have to tell you how to use the scale, but put whatever container of sodium using on this, zero it out, pick it up, put it on, and then basically um, you'll get the measurement on here, right? So that is how you get how much salt in like weight you've used. Okay, and then what you need to do is just Google salt to sodium conversion table. So there's like calculators online where you essentially just enter in the amount of salt and weight that you use, and I'll tell you how much sodium that is. The other thing that you need to take into consideration is going to be just the natural sodium that you get from food, right? So if you eat anything really, there's going to have some levels of sodium in there. You need to add up those two for the day. Then that is your intake of sodium, right? Um, Again, and then after that, what you would do is you would balance that out with the proper amount of potassium to follow. So, why do you want to do this? Why is this important? Well, the reason why is because salt is not the devil by any means, but lately it's gotten this kind of hero type of vibe. Like it's the be all end all. It's so good. More is better. Salt, 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 salt. Every electrolyte formula that you see is sodium based. And there can be a lot of downside to that. Believe it or not, too much sodium, not enough potassium can lead to cramping, actually, right? So, potassium is pretty responsible for like muscle function, cramping, right? So, if your electrolyte balances are off, increased sodium could actually be a negative effect of training and performance, right? So that's kind of contrary to like what a lot of influencers will tell you online that are promoting their salt-based electrolyte products. But in addition to that, right, like for a lot of people in general that are bigger, but just people in general, right, high blood pressure, eating a high sodium diet can directly lead to an increased amount of blood pressure, right? And this is not a road that you want to go down. I myself, before I started kind of tracking my sodium, had high blood pressure and didn't know why. and I started taking blood pressure medication for it, and all I had to do was just reduce my sodium, and my blood pressure was normal after that. So, you know, having the right ratio of potassium to sodium or sodium to potassium will keep your blood pressure in check, right? And then lastly, water retention, right? Nobody wants to be bloated. Nobody wants to be puffy. Having too much sodium, not enough potassium, will lead to increased water retention. So that is how you should track your sodium. That is why you should care. All these little kind of micro details you may not think are that important. When you take 1% from here, 1% from here, 1% from there, all of a sudden you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 different percents. That's a lot of percents. 10% on a 800-pound deadlift is 880, right? So like it's a big difference. So yeah, that's hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was helpful for you. And if you like this video, let me know in the comment. If you have any question, drop it down below. And yeah, continue watching. I got a lot more stuff coming. Thanks for tuning in.